What is up guys, DevPRO here and welcome to today's video. Now today we're going to be covering a new deck profile for the new archetype, fairly new, came out a while ago, didn't cover it at all I think, but I'm going to be covering it today in the form of a deck profile, and that is Artifacts. Now Artifacts is a new archetype, like I said, and it has a really cool concept behind it, a really interesting concept, and it's quickly become one of my favorite archetypes to play. Like I mentioned in lots of other videos, when a new game mechanic comes out, such as Sylvan with their excavating, or like Artifacts with their ability to become spell cards and spell and trap cards, and so on and so forth, whenever a new game mechanic like that comes out, it just always has me hooked, always grabs my attention really easily, and I'm into it a lot more than some of the other things. That's why I'm really looking forward to Pendulum Summon, getting into that, and breaking that down for you guys. But anyway, like I said, today we are covering Artifacts, so let's go over the deck profile. So first off, we got 3 Artifact Achilles. This is the newest Artifact monster, and all the Artifacts have this same basic effect. So you can set this card from your hand to your spell and trap card zone as a spell card. When this set card in your spell and trap card zone is destroyed and sent to the graveyard during your opponent's turn, special summon this card. If this card is special summoned during your opponent's turn, and then some other effect. So, Achilles' effect is, if this card is special summoned during your opponent's turn, until the end of this turn, your opponent cannot target artifact monsters you control for an attack. Pretty good effect, especially since, but basically the game plan is to summon as many artifact monsters on your opponent's turn as possible. With things like Achilles and Aggies here, these are the best cards because these cards will prevent your opponent from attacking, and they'll prevent your opponent from using effects to destroy them, which ultimately will leave you with a lot more artifact monsters on your turn. So Achilles is definitely a really good card, and that's why I ran 3 of it. Next up we have Artifact Labrys. Same basic effect, but instead of it gaining effect, so most of them have, if this card is special summoned during your opponent's turn, this card has the effect that when an artifact monster or an artifact card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. So a lot of the time you're going to be using a lot of your back row up, so it may be viable to leave Labrys in your hand, so in the opportunity on your opponent's turn you activate Mystical Space Typhoon, destroy Achilles, and then when Achilles is destroyed you can summon Labrys from your hand, and then Achilles will summon back, of course, and then you'll have 2. So yeah, if your back row is full, it's always nice to keep Labrys in your hand. Next up, we have Artifact Moraltag. Same basic effect, and if this card is special summoned during your opponent's turn, you can destroy 1 face-up card your opponent controls. Pretty good effect, nice little effect, especially if you're facing something like Dark Worlds, things of that nature. Things that run field spell cards are always nice to. It's always nice to pop the field spell. If they've got a big monster on the field, you can always pop that as well. Moraltag is definitely a really good card, and I'm running 3 of that. Next up we have Artifact Caduceus. Again, this is another one of the new artifact monsters, one of the newer ones, and its effect reads, during, instead of it, like I said, instead of this card being special summoned during your opponent's turn and pulling off effect, it has a little bit of a different one, and that is, during your opponent's turn, when an artifact monster is special summoned, draw 1 card. You must control this face-up card to activate and to resolve this effect. You can only control 1 artifact, Caduceus. That's why I run 2 of them. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's nice, add draw power to the deck. So I'll get to Backrow now, so, or however that's pronounced. But basically, it gives you the opportunity to destroy 2 things. So you destroy this one first and something else, summon that one up first, and then you summon your other one, and then basically you get a +1, so it's always nice. Artifact Backrow. Anyway, same basic effect, and if this card is summoned, especially summoned during your opponent's turn, destroy up to 2 set cards you control. You can only use the effect of Artifact Backrow once per turn. This is one of the most solid cards, one of the best cards for the artifact archetype. And that's because it basically allows you to destroy 2 of your artifact spell cards to summon more of them. So, especially if you tie it in with things like Theosphere of the artifacts, artifact movement, so on and so forth. You can pull off a lot of pluses with this combo. Usually, on a good hand, on a decent hand for artifacts, on your opponent's first turn, you're summoning 3 artifact monsters. That's usually what you want to aim for. Next up, we have Artifact Iacus. Already covered this card a bit, but when this card is special summoned during your opponent's turn, until the end phase of this turn, artifact monsters you control cannot be targeted or be destroyed by card effects. So yeah, tie in that with Achilles, you got a nice little combo to protect all your monsters. Next up we have Star Drawing. This is a pretty interesting card. If this card is used for an XYZ summon, you can treat it as a level 5 monster. An XYZ monster that was special summoned using this card as an XYZ material gains this effect. When it is XYZ summoned, draw 1 card. So, Star Drawing is a beast of a card, so you can just tie it in with all your other artifact monsters to help use them for XYZs, and then you just pull off +1 to it. So, no reason not to run it. Next up we have Cards from the Sky. Remove from play 1 light fairy type monster in your hand and draw 2 cards. You cannot special summon or conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this effect. Yeah, pretty sweet card, because a lot of the time during on your turn, you're not going to be special summoning and you're not going to be conducting your battle phase, mainly because you're going to be special summoned on your opponent's turn and then conducting your battle phase, usually the turn after that. So Cards from the Sky is a nice opening card to get a 2+2s off, or 2+1s off, sorry, and then basically all of the artifact monsters are light and fairy, so you have a shitload of targets for it. These are the cards that pretty much make the deck run. So first off, we have Mystical Space Typhoon. Target 1 spell and trap card on the field, destroy that target. You all know what Mystical Space Typhoon is. You can use it on your opponent, or you can use it on yourself to destroy your artifact monsters. Artifact Movement. Target 1 spell and trap card on the field, destroy that card. And if you do, set 1 artifact monster directly from your deck to your spell and trap card zone as a spell card. Pretty powerful card, so basically what you can do is you can, talking about the +1s earlier, say you start off your turn, you set Achilles and Backrow. Then you activate movement, destroy Backrow, and then use movement's effect to set another, let's just say Labris from your deck. Then you have your 2 targets there for Backrow, destroy them both, and you've got 3 monsters. So movement's a really powerful card. Plus it has an extra effect that says, if this card in your possession is destroyed by your opponent's card, your opponent skips their next battle phase. So there's a few artifact cards that gain an extra effect if they're destroyed by your opponent. Next up we have Double Cyclone, one of my favourites actually. So select 1 spell and trap card you control and 1 spell and trap card your opponent controls. Destroy the selected cards. So with this, basically, you're destroying one of yours, getting a nice plus off for yourself, and then you're destroying one of your opponents, pretty much rendering whatever they were going to do useless. So Double Cyclone is a very good card for this deck. Next up we have Theosphere of the Artifacts. Special summon 1 artifact monster from your deck. You can only activate 1 Theosphere of the Artifacts per turn. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this card. If this card in your possession is destroyed by your opponent's card, you can target 1 card on the field, destroy that target. Nice little card effect there. Obviously, you don't want to use it on your turn. Plus, a lot of these monsters will bust off their effect because they're special summoned to your opponent's turn. So, again, I usually go into Backrow with this to destroy some on my back row. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that card. Then we got some basic trap lineup: Bottomless, 2 Mirror Force, 1 Dimension, 1 Compulse, 2 Phoenix Chain, and 1 Solomon Warning. Next up for the extra deck, just a pretty standard extra deck for a deck of this type. So we have 2 Terrace, Keeper of Genesis, 2 Adurels, Keeper of Armageddon, 2 Castella, Plague Deus, 3 number 61 Volcanorus, very, very good card. 2 Artifact Durandal, which I'll cover here in a sec. 2 number 12 Crimson Shadow Armored Ninja. 1 number 53 Heart Earth. And 1 Divogaret King of Heavy Industry. Very powerful card and really easy to summon with this deck. Anyway, as for the new Artifact XYZ Artifact Durandal. Pretty decent card. 2 level 5 monsters. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can activate 1 of these effects. When a monster effect is activated on the field, or when a normal spell or trap card is activated, you can deattach one XYZ material from this card. This card's effect becomes destroy one spell and trap card on the field, or that card's effect becomes that. So, say your opponent activates, I don't know, what's a good example off the top of my head? Monster Reborn, even though it's banned, that's the first thing that came to mind. Oh, Darkhold, they activate Darkhold. But to clear your field, boom, activate artifact Durandal's effect, deattach a material. The effect of Darkhold now becomes destroy one spell and trap card your opponent controls. So they have to destroy one spell and trap card you control. So they can pop an artifact monster, they could possibly pop movement or Theospy to pull off their effects. Really good effect. Also, as for its second effect, you can deattach one XYZ material from this card. Each player shuffles their entire hand into the deck, then each player draws the same number of cards they shuffled. Pretty good for facing things like Dark World. They activate the effect of Snow, drag the card they want to the hand, activate Durandal's effect, and that way they have to shuffle their entire hand into the deck. So, I mean, there's always a risk with effect like that. They could get better, they could get worse, but in a lot of cases, if they're searching for specific cards to get to the hand and then you send them back to the deck, you're in a pretty good position. But anyway guys, that is going to do it for my artifact deck profile. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of this deck profile, and what do you think of the artifact archetype in general? Also, if you enjoyed the video, remember to give it a like rating, and if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all my other videos. Again guys, from Backrow, and about peace. Thank you for watching.